I'm the project manager for the Healthy T-Birds Coalition. A few years ago, we were approached with a grant opportunity to work designing these coalitions for college campuses. It's a model that's been used in the community. It's a model that's been used with a lot of, you see coalitions with high schoolers, you see coalitions with adults, but it's not really something that you see on college campuses much. We were approached a few years ago with an opportunity to develop these coalitions here at SUU as well as at Utah Tech and at Snow College. And so I manage each of those coalitions, and then I'm specifically, day-to-day involved with the SUU Healthy T-Birds Coalition.
I work with the TRIO SSS program, Student Support Services. We are funded to serve 200 students here at SUU. We are a mentor tutoring program. We provide mentoring for incoming freshmen, and they stay with those students for 6 years or until that student graduates. We also provide free tutoring here in our lab. We have some of the best tutors on campus. We provide some grant funding. It's limited to those that are low income or on Pels that have a Pell grant, then they can get additional grant assistance. Right now, our program, for our 200 students, we work very hard to get them the resources they need to be successful and to be able to graduate.
This project really focuses on taking some of the resources that we have kind of uniquely at SUU here in the chemistry and physics department, especially for the size of institution we have here. We've got a laboratory that can take samples or molecules and cool them down to really close to absolute zero, colder than outer space basically. And the advantage of doing that and then interrogating those samples with lasers is we can learn about some secrets that these samples or molecules are holding on to that you really can't see without putting them in these sort of unique conditions. And so we got interested in a project that takes samples inspired from light-sensitive molecules out in biology, and we really want to put them in these conditions and learn about the connection that the way that nature has put these together to determine a really particular and efficient property, I guess. And so what interested us in this project and this grant is that it's a great way to incorporate students into every bit of that mechanism, from thinking about writing up research ideas to getting their hands on the lasers and getting their hands on the vacuum chambers and putting molecules into these conditions, and then finally thinking about the chemistry and the problem solving associated with that to sort of take the results from experiment to scientific insight. I think that's really the beautiful part of the discovery process between a faculty and a student, is to kind of come together in that discovery and sort of everybody wins.
The project is the Interprofessional Mobile Wellness Program, and it was actually developed in 2001 with the Camille Thomas, who was the acting dean of the College of Health Sciences. It was part of the Utah System of Higher Education Innovation Grant, and so we submitted that as a college to increase opportunities for interprofessional education among College of Health Science and other health profession students here at SUU. And we were awarded funding for a mobile wellness van, and the goal of that is to both increase opportunities for health profession students at SUU to go out into the rural and underserved communities to promote health and wellness, and also hopefully down the road improve opportunities for communities to be healthier, and also thinking about hoping to get some other students out there interested in health and healthcare professions at SUU.
So this project is funded by Utah System of Higher Education, USHE. So they have this new opportunity, grant opportunity for faculties and university really in Utah to submit a proposal that helps the Utah with the high-tech area. And high-tech area, they define a couple of specific field, but it can be really anything related to high-tech. It can be artificial intelligence, automated vehicle, augmented reality, advanced material. So when we saw this opportunity, what I was thinking about was, well, artificial intelligence and machine learning is a rapidly advanced field, and it's really touching everywhere in our life. All the major healthcare, computer science, engineering, and even in engineering, civil engineering, mechanical, electrical engineering. So it's touching everywhere, and yet we don't have the infrastructure. Not only SUU, like it's pretty much everywhere. All the universities, they're having a hard time to catch up with how rapidly it's growing. So we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have a lab dedicated to AI, machine learning, we don't have courses, especially in engineering. So what I was thinking at that time was, well, how about developing a certificate in artificial intelligence and machine learning in engineering? And that's another part that is unique about it. There are some certificates out there in AI and machine learning, but not necessarily focusing on engineering aspect of it. How does it help us with engineering problem? So we wrote a proposal to basically create this certificate. It was submitted to USHE. They review and they accepted that in I think it was in spring 2023. And they funded the project for $370,000. A part of it will go to develop a laboratory which has advanced sensing equipment, fiber optic, wireless sensor, drones for data collections, robots, and a part of it will go to curriculum development, courses related to AI, computer vision, and application of engineering.
We know that in order to learn successfully and to do their best in the classroom, things need to be going well outside of the classroom. And so with our focus on mental health, on substance use awareness, prevention of misuse of substances, and really just kindness in general, being good people and good to each other as a community, we know that we're doing our best to give these students an opportunity to be living their best lives and to be their best selves.
We try to provide a home away from home here in our lab, and we try to provide food and everything else that we need, the social life. We do have a workshop or activity every week that we keep our students involved in. And we just try to keep it positive and upbeat and try to address struggles before they happen.
The focus is to take early career faculty and really help faculty engage the education and research process in one massive collaboration. As students have got their hands on equipment, they've got their hands on unique problems, oftentimes, most times that they're pretty excited and passionate about. Students get to develop in sort of content and laboratory technique. And then also on the back side of that is presentations at state level, national level, regional level, and then oftentimes up to the publication process. And so writing a peer-reviewed journal article and submitting that for publication. And so that whole process, I think, gives students a unique edge when they go out into the professional environment that most students don't necessarily have.
This particular project, it does a couple of things. It broadens that to other health professions, so exercise science, also nutrition students that are in the College of Health Sciences. We're also working closely with the Utah Health Scholars Program, and they have a lot of pre-professional health education students, so pre-med, pre-dentistry, pre-nursing students as well. And so it provides an opportunity for all of those students to come together and work on promoting health and wellness and through health education and community-based care in rural and underserved communities. So
there are lots of tech companies who are looking for engineers with such a background. So a student can get this background, which make them much more competitive in job market. And also, so we're talking about two different types of students. Some will graduate from here and they want to go and work in the industry. So that will help them in that way with the hands-on experience and skills. There are students who wants to go to grad school. In fact, I was a couple of days ago, I was talking with one of my students who wants to go to grad school, and he's communicating with different professors at different university, and they're all asking her, do you know programming? Do you know anything about AI and machine learning? Because I can say almost 90% of the research going on at the grad school, when it comes to engineering, mechanical, civil, electrical, are somehow related to AI and machine learning. So if you are a student who wants to go to industry, you will get the benefit from this. If you're a student who wants to go to grad school, this will serve you as well.
We don't want to get in the way of what's happening in the classroom, just the opposite. We want our students to be the best that they can be.
I feel that it's just the next step for a lot of our students. And so we try to encourage as much as we can the graduate studies and doing some research and presenting that research.
We have students that are really, hungry for that research experience as a new way of learning. I think it's really all still, it's all really still the educational a part of this institution. It just gives students a unique opportunity to sort of learn in a different way, I think. That hands-on process and problem solving, I think, is not necessarily seen as separate from the classroom environment, but instead I think it's complementary in some ways.
Down the road, it's more around the outcomes of education, the interprofessional education, and our students learning about other disciplines and how those other disciplines can work in community-based education. And then bringing that on down into their professions once they become nurses and doctors and dentists and other physical therapists in the field, thinking about what role do other health professions play in keeping individuals and communities healthy and well.
But I think that one of the biggest difference between high school and university is the undergraduate research opportunity. So students get hands-on experience, right? Working. So again, I mentioned about the laboratory that is going to be developed as a part of this certificate with advanced sensing. That would be a unique opportunity for students to come get experience collecting data using those sensors. You can't get that experience without undergraduate student.
If you want to be more involved in research projects, there's a lot of opportunities, especially on campus, but in your community in general. There's a lot of things that are unknown that need to be known, and a lot of resources out there that can help you learn those things. So if you're interested in getting involved in any type of research, any type of resource or prevention, there's plenty of opportunities on campus. Ask people who you think might be in charge. They might not know anything about the project or the research that you want to do, but they might know somebody who does. And I think that connection building is the #1 way to get involved and be more into research on campus.
The advice I would give is just kind of build good relationships with professors that they have in lecture. I've had a few friends come to me and ask me, how do you get involved with research? And I've kind of pointed them to various professors, and I've told them, just kind of go to their office hours and ask them, because a lot of them are very willing to meet with students and are looking for students to involve in their research.
Take this opportunity. It's a good resource for those who are disadvantaged in the fact that you're not, you don't have that resource from your parents, because, well, for me, neither one of my parents have a college degree. And because of that, it's been helpful for me to be able to go this far into my career path, and it can help me move forward. Once I'm done here, if I decide to continue with my education, or if I just want to go into the job force once I get my bachelor's degree.
I think prevention is something that you don't explicitly use in every career or maybe even in every day of your life, but just knowing how to promote healthy lifestyles, healthy behaviors, knowing how to help the people around you and to recognize unhealthy behaviors or problems in your community is something that you can use throughout your entire life. And so using that in my later career and my further education is going to be recognizing when there are things in the community that can be changed and knowing how I can help and what resources are available.
Probably the most beneficial thing I've learned from research is the problem solving and the critical thinking skills, as well as a lot of perseverance, because a lot of times in research things don't go as planned, so you gotta stick with it and keep working hard to try and advance your research. But I think also, hands-on skills such as manipulating data and trying to learn how to work the instruments are very beneficial things that will be applicable in chemistry, but also outside of chemistry in various aspects of life.
just because of like my circumstances that I had to go through, it doesn't mean that it can hold me back. So far it hasn't, and I think I have the gratitude to have the opportunity to not just be a part of TRIO like as a student, but also be an employee with them. And then like in my future, in my career, I feel like it'll help me succeed no matter what endeavor I decide to take.